This interesting little razor from Ellicottville, New York, would seem to have a whole lot of tie-in to the Revolution, but it does open up a kind of tragic tale. Let's talk about it in today's shave. Hello my friends, welcome back for another shave. Today's American-made razor is this Top Flight. It came from the Burrell Cutlery in Ellicottville, New York. This is just they weren't in the razor business for very long, but the Ellicottville area, or the very western part of New York, has an interesting tie-in with the American Revolution. This part, let me get going here, I'll never end up shaving. The western New York area is kind of the frontier of the Revolution, or of the colonies at that time. And it was home to the Iroquois Nation, and specifically this part is the Seneca Nation, which is part of the Confederacy for of the Iroquois Nation. They are known as the Keepers of the Western Door. Kind of mysterious sounding. What that meant was, it's kind of a natural choke point of the northern part of the Appalachian Mountains, and they were able to kind of control colonists and the western expansion at the time through there. Now, because of the way things were going, the Iroquois Nation kind of aligned themselves with the English during the Revolution. And that was maybe they thought that by aligning with the English that they might be able to kind of slow down the western expansion of the colonies. I don't know, but that's, I think, what started it. But they had tried to kind of also stay sort of neutral. And that's kind of a deal. You can't really have it both ways. It just doesn't work out well. Well, what happened was, the Seneca Indians and other folks in the Confederation started carrying out some raids on settlements here in the western parts of the colonies. And during the Revolutionary times, 1778 and on, and it became kind of a problem by 1793. It became enough of a nuisance that they got George Washington's notice, and he sent a expedition to remove the threat to the western, to those colonists who were trying to move west, or the settlements there, so that we wouldn't be getting raided. And that was really bad news for the Iroquois Nation, or the Seneca Indians in particular, because they went pretty hard on them, kind of scorched earth. And so they thought that by aligning with the British and by trying to discourage settlement, that would kind of stop things from happening. It didn't. And it really ended kind of tragically for them. Whole villages were just taken down, burned to the ground. It was just a really, really bad situation for those Indians, and they weren't very well equipped, despite the British efforts. They weren't equipped to fight against even the colonial army, which wasn't all that strong, but they were more than enough to really take down those Indians. This razor's doing pretty good. Apparently, when I'm reading this, his top flight was mostly made for being sold to barbers and stuff, or professional guys, and it's a consumer grade blade from the early 40s, and they didn't. Unfortunately, 1940 and 41, which was kind of the heyday for these, was right up to the edge of the World War II. And when that started, they pretty much shut these down. This one had a little bit of a nick in the edge up here, so I had to hone it this morning, and it took a pretty good edge. There are people who try to tie this Burrell Cutlery in with case. It may have been some cross-pollination in there. I know that I read an article that this, I don't know if you can see it very well. Where's the camera down here? Well, this logo was designed by a high school student, and boy, it did pretty good. I don't really have to do any cleanup. Our soap today comes to us from Sterling Soap. This is Triumph. I think I don't know if it's still in production or not. It's a real good, pretty soap. It looks wonderful. Lather, very slick. And when I'm trying out a new edge, I try to get a known, very slick soap so I can test the blade rather than worry about it more variables in there. And it did a perfectly good job. The aftershave, I'm told that this is a homage to a Paco Rabanne fragrance, but I don't know because I've never tried the original fragrance. It's very nice though, and I like it very much. And that's today's shave. Looking into just where this razor was made, and it kind of got us involved in looking at the Indians and how that all tied in with the revolution. It just kind of came to us through the back door. But it's a very nice way to do it. I'm Major Rich. You find me at shavingconure.com. If you made it this far, thank you so much for watching. If you find this kind of content interesting, please leave a like, subscribe if you're so inclined. Leave any comments or any suggestions. I'm always anxious to get input from you guys. Thank you so much for watching. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.